So today, I'm going to be giving you guys one of the most non-Chinese Chinese dishes in America, sesame chicken. These juicy flavor bombs of pure chickeny nuggetness will put all your local Chinese food takeout restaurants to shame. Now this recipe is 4-5, but I will put both this one and a smaller portion one in the description below. But without further delay, let's get into it. First, we're going to be starting off with the marinade. Crack your eggs into a medium to large bowl, then mix them up until they get all nice and frothy. Next, go and grab your mushroom flavored superior dark soy sauce. You can use any dark soy sauce, but I just prefer mushroom flavored ones because it has a very nice umami taste to it. Then you're going to need shaoxing cooking wine, and then you're also going to need mirin and sake for that nice onotona aji flavor, which is Japanese for adult flavor. Once you have all those items poured and measured out, add them to the egg mixture. Then give it a bit of a stir. Then you're going to want to stir it up. But before we go any further, you're going to need to take some of that marinade and put it into another smaller bowl so we can then add it to the batter later on. Then once you're done separating the mixture, add your Himalayan sea salt. It can be any sea salt, but I just like Himalayan sea salt because I'm bougie like that. Then add black pepper to taste, garlic, ginger, baking soda, and then lastly, sweet potato starch. Now you don't have to use sweet potato starch. I just heard that it can make the crust on the fried chicken a little bit more crunchier. So it's just best to keep with the trend on what type of starch you use throughout the recipe. You can use either cornstarch or just plain potato starch. After you add all the ingredients, mix it all together, make sure there's no lumps and it's completely smooth. Once you're done stirring up the marinade, set it aside, and now it's time to start cutting the chicken. I'm using boneless, skinless chicken thighs, but you can use chicken breasts. I just find that chicken thighs are more juicier, and it's a lot harder to overcook them. So first, you're going to want to cut the chicken into medium-sized cubes. Make sure that they are all the same size though, so that there's no different cooking times when you're frying them. After you're done cutting up the chicken, add it to the marinade and give it a nice mix to make sure all the chicken is evenly coated with the marinade. Then set it aside for later for about 40 minutes. Next, you're going to need a large bowl. Make sure it has a lid so when you add the chicken to the breading mixture, all you have to do is just shake it to coat it. So first you're going to add all-purpose flour, then add sweet potato starch, followed by baking powder, and then salt. After that, give it a nice little whisk. So after that, you're going to need to add your reserved marinade that you kept in small batches to the breading mixture. You can whisk the first batch, but afterwards you're going to need to mix it by hand to make sure that you are making the small little nuggets in the breading mixture. This method is basically to make sure that the chicken has a whole lot of crunchiness and flavor in the breading. After you're done with that, then it's time to add the chicken to the breading mixture. Make sure you don't overcrowd the bowl so that there's enough room for the chicken to be evenly coated with the breading. Then close the top, give it a good shake, and then it should come out like this. Before you remove the chicken from the bowl, make sure you give it a light shake to remove all the excess breading off of the chicken. So once you're done with the chicken, it's time to move on to the sauce. Okay, hold up. This is Future Ultima. As I was editing this video, I realized that I made a lot of modifications to the sauce off screen, because I found that the sauce was a little too vinegary and too ketchup-y, and it also wasn't sweet enough. I put the modifications in the description below, but the thing is, it's only for the amount for 5. So it's basically quadruple the normal amount for the small portion, but I don't know if the sauce will need it for the smaller portion. It may or may not, but all you would have to do is just divide that amount by 4 and it should come out the same, hopefully. But yeah, that's all I have to say. You're gonna want to add your brown sugar, your honey, your ketchup, your water, your white vinegar, your soy sauce, your Chinese 5-spice, your allspice, then lime to taste, sesame seed oil, then a sweet potato starch water mixture. It doesn't have to be sweet potato starch, it could be cornstarch or normal potato starch, but you need to make sure that you have a 1-to-1 ratio. Once you're done mixing up the sauce, it's time to fry the chicken. Preheat the oil to 375, and once it's done, make sure you don't overcrowd the pot so that the chicken doesn't lower the temperature of the frying oil. Cook until it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees or until kitsunero, which is Japanese for golden brown. Once you're done frying the chicken, it's time to cook the sauce. In a saucepan, turn the stove on medium to medium-high heat and just cook it until it starts to bubble and thicken up. Once you're done cooking the sauce, it's time to pour it on top of the chicken. Make sure you add sesame seeds to the chicken and stir it all in there to make sure it's evenly coated. I would advise only pouring some of the sauce on the chicken that you're going to eat that night to make sure the rest of the chicken doesn't get soggy from the sauce just sitting there in case you don't eat it all. So yeah, this recipe was really good. Also, editing this video took a lot longer than I was expecting. But it turned out pretty good, I would like to think. I've been thinking about this chicken the entire time I was editing this video. But yeah, as a wise man once said, this has entered the clean plate club. So until the next video, I'll see you guys later.